All right, guys. So this is episode 1. This is our very first call with Barsin. We got to go ahead and look at his ad account. We got to see what he's dealing with, and really get to clean things up, get a taste of where his knowledge is at, and really sort of this is the start. And I don't really remember it, so I'm very excited to go over this call with you guys.
So we're about to show you guys like the whole ad account and everything, and you guys are really just gonna see like the real behind the scenes of this whole 100K in a month, and see what it's all about.
Awesome. Let's get right into the first call we had.
All right, so yeah, basically these are the campaigns I'm running. The top one's retargeting. I mean, I just tried retargeting like a couple days ago, but the budget's kind of messed up. Like, it hasn't started spending with this, and it's only started spending with the website visitors and 75% video viewers. But I don't know if I should end it or not because it's only gotten one add to cart.
Got it. So first of all, is this in New Zealand dollars or USD?
This is USD.
Got it. And what's the break-even point on your product?
My break-even point's 1.69, so basically 1.7.
How much is in dollars?
It would be, so I'm buying it for like 43 and I'm selling it for 99, so roughly like $57.
$57 profit margin?
Yeah, profit margin.
Okay, so you should leave these retargeting for longer. So that's sort of the winning product that we're dealing with. So Barsin did come to me with a product that was sort of winning. You saw sort of the ad account, you sort of saw what we were dealing with. That was the profit margins for that product. And yeah, what do you remember about the product, Barsin?
Yeah, so actually looking back on it now, that was actually like a strong winner. I would say it was like an A winner. At the time, obviously, I didn't really know that because I was still kind of newbie and I hadn't really tested enough products to know what's good compared to other products, but this was definitely a strong winner at the time.
And then now we go over the retargeting strategies that I tell him. I was telling him about exclusions and how he shouldn't just do initiate checkout, add to cart, and website visitors. He should sort of exclude and tier it. And this was the retargeting strategy. So what I like to do is I like to do view content, no add to cart, no purchase.
All right, I'm just writing that down now.
And then actually let me go ahead and click start recording on Skype. So after this call, you can rewatch this and then it will save you time from notes. So you can just rewatch it.
That's great, yeah.
Awesome. So then view content, what I would do is I would do 75% view content, no,
yeah.
75% video views, no view content.
Yeah, sounds
That'll
cool.
prevent overlapping.
Yeah, that's cool. And basically, I'm just running this post per engagement to get more 95% the views and 95% so I can create like strong lookalikes.
Okay.
And then these are like the two important ones. So basically, I have this one firstly, and a couple of days ago I saw like meditation basically was doing very good. And so I duplicated it like a couple times over the days. And then like, for example, this one's a cost per purchase of $8.
Damn, this is pretty crazy. The cost of purchase was super cheap. And look at how many meditation adsets he has. He has that's like 10 or something. What's your thoughts, Barsin?
Yeah, so nowadays I wouldn't actually use this strategy that I was doing before I learned Andy's strategy. So basically, I guess this was kind of lucky. Like, I've tried to do this strategy again these days and it hasn't really worked too well, but I guess when the product's strong, it really just shows itself. And as you can see, $26 cost per purchase for that campaign, and it's all the same ad set as well, and it's pulling a 4.11 ROAS, which is really solid.
Spent 32 and in return I got 399.
Yep.
So that's pretty good. Same with the original. I don't know if this is the original one, but it's one of them. This one here. It's doing like a nice cost per purchase. Like, these ones are doing fine as well, but I just don't know how to scale further and whether I should see all these bottom ones that have spent around 22 and haven't got a sale.
So yeah, and then I go ahead and just lay out my current strategy. I talk about how I don't do too many duplications, and Barsin talking about how he no longer does it as well. I think it sometimes works, and I still know a lot of people that do it. For some reason, it just hasn't ever worked with me, but I do know people who've done big numbers using this. I think Sam Oven uses this. But yeah, so I go ahead and sort of tell him the strategy I use, and he sort of transitions over to my strategy, and we'll sort of see if that worked and how it turned out.
So basically, after this, I started working with Andy's strategy, and that's when things just blew up, because if I stayed using my strategy, I would have kept pulling these type of numbers. I probably didn't know how to scale. I'd probably just duplicate $10 budgets even more. But yeah, definitely didn't know how to scale back then.
I like to double the budget. So I go from say like $10 to $20 to $40, to like $80, $150, and then like $250. And then once I hit $250, then do I start duplicating. I would duplicate $250 three times at $500. And I'll find the best working $500 one, duplicate that 3 times at $1,500 each. And that seems to do much better than duplicating one ad set many times.
Yeah, exactly. It gets kind of messy as well.
Correct. It gets very messy. First thing first is, have you started by horizontally scaling your interests? So how many different interests have you tried yet?
I probably try like a total of like 20 interests. Like if I take out the active, there's like quite a decent amount of interest that I've just used, but they haven't really gone well at all.
Okay.
And
is
then
there
that's
a reason
not
why you use you don't use a daily budget, you have like a limited budget or something? How it's like
that's because it's because it didn't let me, because when I was testing, I had like 3 creatives, and then like sometimes one creative would be active, and then it would just spend all the money on that. So I set like a date, and then to set a date I had to send the end date. So I just like did a random date months for it, so it wouldn't like actually bother.
Okay, got it.
But so basically with these meditation ones, should I like up the budget? Right now they're at $10 daily.
So what happens if you scale it out and then it hits the end date? What would happen then? Because I don't want you to scale an ad set and then once it gains optimization, it ends.
Yeah, that'd be hard. I think I can actually edit it and change the end date, and I can just push it to like 5 years. So obviously wouldn't affect.
And then here we go over the sort of editing budget. So I told him, no longer duplicate it. When you get an ad set that gets 3 purchases profitably, double the budget through the editing strategy. And we also, for some reason he had like a limited budget. It was like he would have to set it like 5 years in advance. I think that's happens when you create an ad set using the guided method or something. But yeah, it was like this was sort of what we were dealing with at the start. So what I do is any ad set with more than 3 purchases, I double the budget. So I go from 10 to 20. So for the first 2 only.
Alright, so I double the budget for the first 2.
Yeah, which has 4 purchases each.
Yeah, exactly. And then once this one eventually gets 3, I'll just double it.
Correct.
But how about
what's it killing? You want to let it run to break even point. But your break even point is pretty high, which is how much? $57. $57. That's pretty pricey.
Is there any way I could tell with the add to carts, like if they're going on the right track?
Yeah, that's what I was going to go to next. Right now, show me your cost per add to carts. If possible, have a preset with the columns I have in one of my documents.
That.
And then you could have like a separate preset, and then that contains like a lot of data. Yeah, you can put in the cost, check the cost column for add to cart. So just where you were at then. So go back to add to cart. Yeah, and then click the cost. That's it. So now we go over the killing metrics and KPIs, because Barsin didn't know when to kill, when to scale. So we talk about when to kill by looking at the cost per add to cart, and that's sort of why we had to add in the cost per add to cart into the columns.
Yeah, so guys, basically at the time, I didn't even know what a cost per add to cart was, and I really didn't know anything about KPIs. I was just going off sales. I didn't even know if I knew what ROAS was like really. So in this call, me and Andy just broke down to me like all the KPIs and cost per add to cart, and when to duplicate, when to increase budget, etc. And I really gained a lot of knowledge from this call, especially.
All your top performing ad sets would probably have a cost per add to cart of under 20, correct?
Yeah.
So that means if anything gets over $20 cost per add to cart, then you should kill. So in this case, only one of the ad set, I think the fourth one, that one you might kill. But I also recommend you letting adsets run for at least 4 days, because it takes 4 days for Facebook to really optimize. And since you have a high ticket item, it would be even better to let it run for 4 days. But if you're on a tight budget, you could potentially kill it now.
All right. Yeah, I think I will kill it now, actually.
So around here, we also talk about the sort of combining of the two separate campaigns. I like to sort of keep everything under one campaign for one product, because I feel like it really helps when it comes to optimization. So talk about how he should combine his two separate foot detox campaigns into one, and then we talk about strategies on transitioning into one campaign and how he could sort of, clean things up and put everything under one campaign.
So basically, at the time, I had multiple campaigns and I didn't really know anything about optimization and all that. So I used to think it was just fine to have like multiple campaigns. But after this, I learned that it was actually better to keep all my ad sets into one campaign for a product, because nowadays, even when I'm scaling multiple winners at once, it's just easier to have multiple campaigns at one campaign per product instead of it all being scattered out and just making it like just really messy.
And then basically I just wanted to go back to this one. I'm gonna just filter.
And I also recommend trying to put all ad sets under one campaign.
Yeah.
Start optimizing very well.
I see. Is there any way I could do that now? Like when these like end up going bad, I just end them and just stick to one campaign?
Correct, exactly. So you don't duplicate everything into one campaign. You just keep everything as is, and you just start killing and moving things into like another campaign.
Oh, I see. But in this stage, like, see, these ones have got 5 purchases, 3. Would I just duplicate these for now as well? So $20, $20, $20.
Correct. I'd probably only duplicate the first 2, because the third one has a pretty pricey cost per result. Even though it's still profitable, I'll probably let it run. If it gets 4 purchases at like $35 per purchase, then I'll double it.
All right, I see. 4 purchases. I just had one question. Going back to earlier, when you said, like, for example, I duplicate this to $20, when would I duplicate it to $40?
You would let it run for probably another 2 to 3 days, and if it's getting consistent sales at $20 budget, so one sale every single day, then I'll duplicate it again.
All right, that sounds great.
So it's very slow and steady, but you're doing it with tons of ad sets.
Yeah, tons of ad sets. So for now, I can't really move these ones to the other ones. So I'll just keep doing what I'm doing here, but then when I want to add new ad sets, I'll just go back to the other campaign and do it.
Correct.
And I just had one question, like how often, like what should be the schedule for adding a new interest? Should that be like every day, or?
If it's properly doing well, you want to add a new interest, and I recommend only adding interests on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So that means those are the days where you want to launch new interests and ad sets and lookalike audiences.
Yep.
And then the next thing we go over is horizontal scaling. So you guys are getting a lot on this first episode. So we go ahead and talk about horizontal scaling and finding more interests, and here's how we went ahead and did that. So for example, today, potentially you could, duplicate all your best interests such as wellness, quality of life, self-care, meditation, and look for other similar interests. I want you to test at least 50 different interests. Don't retest any interests that you've already tested that didn't do well. But in total, test 50 interests, and probably 15 of them would do very well, and 35 of them you'll just kill.
Yeah, I see.
And then by then we'll get into lookalike audiences, and the first thing we'll probably go into is probably 95% lookalike audiences.
Yeah, exactly. Because my top selling countries are Australia and USA.
Awesome. What are the countries you're targeting for these interest targeting, by the way?
So basically, I've been doing worldwide with the exclude list of about like 20 countries, like India. So this has been, I've just been trying to build up as much data so our lookalikes can be very like strong further down the line. And I'll do the column thing after our call, definitely. So this one, I'm trying to reach at least like 1,000 each. Then, do you think that's like a good plan? Because they have around 600 in total for the 95 video viewers.
I think your current conversion campaigns is already driving enough traffic to the video, what I recommend is you should use a PPE campaign to create different creatives. So yeah, now we even go over how to go ahead and test different creatives. So Barsin had like a PPE campaign, and since he had a winning product, I wanted him to split test different creatives to make sure that if his current winner died or the current creative died, he'll be able to split test and have a new creative to switch into it.
Exactly. So testing out new creatives is really important because sometimes you think your product died, but instead it was actually the creative that died. And if you test out new creatives and find another winning creative, the product actually like kind of comes back to life, like refresh, kind of like round 2.
Every 2 or 3 days, launch a new video, whether it's changing the first 3 seconds of it or a new complete video, and doing PPE. And then probably like 1 in like 5 of those PPE tests you do, one of them would have very cheap engagements, and that's the one that you'll transition into a conversion campaign.
Oh, I see. Yeah, because basically when I started testing, I started with 3 creatives, and all the sales were just coming from one creative, which is the creative I used to just scale from there.
Correct. And then you want to diversify by finding more winning creatives. And then now we go ahead and we sort of end the call, and I sort of give him all the action items to go ahead and follow. And so let's sort of see what I set for Barsin to do. Scale out horizontally to 50 more interests. No, 50 interests.
Yeah.
To launch, and you could open up Skype to see the messages. Launch
that's
more creatives and test PPE. 1 creative, 1 new creative, and you could open up the chat.
Yep.
1 new creative every 2 to 3 days. Find new creatives that get super cheap cost per engagement to transition into conversion campaign. 3, continue to double budget for 3+ profitable sales ad sets. 4, schedule in next call to go over 95% worldwide lookalike audience. Scaling.
Yeah.
What else did we talk about on this call? Did we mention anything else? Or was that
we mentioned
everything?
The ad sets, how we just add them on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Now you could remember that's a rule. Also, scale into 1 main campaign, and then 6, retargeting with exclusions.
Yeah.
And you could rewatch this call to remember what I said. And then lastly, I think Barsin is asking again about KPIs and when to kill. So go ahead and double down, and we sort of make sure that he knows how to go ahead and kill all these adsets, because he has a lot of adsets running and it's spending a lot of money. So I want to make sure that he knows when to kill so that he won't be spending more money on an ad set that isn't going to work.
Yeah, guys, so I was losing money with some ad sets at this point because I just didn't know about KPIs and when to kill them, but then I learned after this.
Oh yeah, with killing ad sets, is that only Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or can I do that whenever?
Whenever. When they I'll give the criteria now. Killing. Actually, since it's sort of more tailored to you, I was going to say usually you'll kill only after 4 days or it hits break even point, but that would get very pricey.
Very pricey.
So for you, maybe only kill when it hits like above $20 cost per ad to cart.
All right.
Or when it has like over, what's your current average cost per click at the moment?
Current average cost per click is, I'll just look at like the main campaign.
Yeah.
It's 26 cents.
So I guess if a campaign, when you launch it and it has like over $1.50 cost per click, then you could kill it straight away in the very beginning. And if it has no add to carts at like $15, you could kill it. The only bad thing about these metrics is because the good side is you're going to be able to save money and kill early, but the bad side is you might accidentally kill ad sets that could have came back and became immensely profitable. And now let's go ahead and answer the question that everyone's always asking. All my students ask me whenever they get a winning product, what's your thoughts, Andy? Do you think this is a winning product? And yeah, let's sort of see what I answer.
Yeah, and do you think like with this product, do you think it's a winner?
It definitely has potential since your margins are very high and none of your, like all your cost per purchases are way below profit break-even point. So a decent profit on every single sale.
Yeah, exactly.
And then before I end the call, because I saw that Barsin had a winning product that had a lot of potential and I really wanted to make sure that he will succeed in the long run. So I gave him the last honest tip. Is like, yo, like even though you have a good winning product, I want you to keep testing because this product might die.
Yeah, guys, and actually interesting thing is that I didn't really take that too serious because I used to think, oh, you just find a winner and you just scale on where like that's done. But I learned from my lesson.
And then I reckon in the second call we'll go over more lookalike audience scaling, and on the third week I think we should go over testing again because a lot of people, they fall into the trap of just focusing on their one sort of potential winner and they forget to start testing, and that's sort of the biggest pitfall. But yeah, follow the list on the Skype, keep up the hard work, and this has a lot of potential. So yeah, I was like a pretty, harsh and straight to the point teacher, and I think I want to emphasize that more because, no one wants to hear me say, yo, don't focus too much on your winner, test on the side. But I just want to tell my students the truth and give them the honest, like raw, helpful advice.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, like back then I used to view it as, testing products are scary, you gotta find another winner. But now I reckon my favorite part about dropshipping is actually product research and testing products, because each product you test, you learn something new and you just get better. And now I test a lot of products every single week, even if I've got winners.
That's awesome, Barsin. Like Barsin now has learned how to enjoy the process of product testing, and he's enjoyed the hardest part. Like I think that's how you succeed, Barsin. And you're right. Like you've learned to enjoy the hard part so that the whole journey and process, it's super fun.
Exactly. And it could actually be boring. Like if you're just scrolling through AliExpress for 5-6 hours a day, it could be boring, but you got to kind of just rewire your brain and, you got to think of like, yo, what if I didn't spend 5 hours today and I missed out on the chance to find my first $1 million profit and I net like 300K or something like that. So that just makes it so like I don't want to do anything else. I just want to do like testing and product research.
But yeah, that was the first ever call I had with you, Barsin. What is your thoughts? This is a massive throwback.
Yeah, that's like 7 or 8 months ago, and it's just crazy because like I've learned so much since then. And then I always used to think like back then, I'm like, oh, I want to see where I'd be in like 6-7 months from now. I wish I could just skip forward. And then now we're finally here, and it's just really cool to look back at like what I was going through and like all the changes I've made since then.
That's so awesome. So yeah, that is episode 1, official episode 1. Hopefully you guys were able to get some value. I think that was value jam-packed. You got like another 9 episodes. We'll probably have some more bonus episodes so I'm very excited for you guys to get this series. I'm very excited to unlock and listen to other calls because it's so satisfying to listen to these calls and see how much Barsin has changed, how much he's grown. So I'm loving just listening to these calls with you guys, and we sort of do a commentary over these calls. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's episode. Thank you so much for listening. Any last words, Barsin?
Yeah, guys. So thank you so much for listening, and we still got like 9 episodes left. So you guys are going to gain so much value from this.
Awesome stuff, Barsin. Check out his channel, linked in the description to support my boy Barsin. He has a lot of value to show. He has several amazing case studies, so check out his channel and Instagram. And yeah, thank you so much for listening. Before we end today's video, let's go ahead and announce last video's winners for $1,000 worth of courses or consulting course with me. The winner's here. If you guys want to qualify, what to do is comment below, follow my Instagram, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and I'll be picking the best comment every single video. Other than that, thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate everyone's time that you're putting into watching my videos, and I want to say thank you. I'll be seeing you guys tomorrow with much more value. Peace. Because right now Barsin's hit like $1,000 a day. I really want him to sort of reinvest that time and money into testing new products, and we'll sort of see later down the road in the later episodes how that became a very important tip.
I actually didn't end up testing more products, and you'll see what happened and why you should be testing products even when you've got a winner.